What a beautiful day. Let's do some jobs around the garden.
So some of you may remember last year, our cousins in Australia, Jackie and Wayne, brought us these 3 lovely trees. At the moment they don't look lovely, but they will be in the spring. This is a cherry blossom on the left, and there's lots of buds appearing on this one. There's a little pink flower on there. And this one is a variegated maple. Again, some lovely buds appearing. Some nice variegated leaf on there as well. And last year we cut off a few branches to give it a better shape. They've only been about a year and a half. Unfortunately, this one is a cercis, which is the main tree actually that Jackie wanted to buy us, but unfortunately it died. And out of the 3 trees, the root ball on this one was really, really small. And we think because it had there's some massive hosta in the summer in here, and it covers this whole area, and I think because it covered all the bottom over the top of the tree ball, it basically didn't get any water, so it's totally dead. So as you can hear and see. So what we're doing here, we're just clearing back all the stones down to the membrane, and we'll clear the membrane back, and then dig the root ball out, and just leave it all open. Probably put a pot in there for now, just to stop the soil going back in. And once we get a new tree, we'll pop that in.
Okay, so what we've got here are some lily bulbs. This is something I wanted to do for last year, but I didn't get a chance, I missed the slot for it. So I'm going to plant a pot, which is here, with some lilies, oriental ones. They smell lovely. There's 3 in a packet, and I've gone for 12. I believe you can plant them in the ground, they need to be 12 centimetres apart, but in the pot, they can be close together as long as they're not touching. So I'm going to do, first of all, we're going to prepare the pot first of all. This is an old pot I've got, it's a plastic pot. I just need to put some more drainage holes in there. So as you can see, lots of. Now we're going to prepare our compost and grit mix. So I've not done this before. So as you can see, we've got a nice mix here of grit and compost. I'm now going to put the bulbs in there, and I'll show you when we come back. So I've mixed up the mix for the top section. I think what a lot of people don't realise with plants is they need air in the compost. A lot of people put plants in or bulbs in, they literally, one, because that's what Monty does. But secondly, like these as well, it looks nice. It's also quite good because when the bulbs start coming up, you'll probably have to protect these from snails and slugs. And slugs and snails don't like going onto grit or gravel, so it helps with that as well. It also looks nicer when the actual bulbs are coming through, and it helps the drainage as well. So I'm going to put a little bit outside. I'm going to give that a little water in, but only a little bit. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to put that in the garage, because it's currently towards the end of February here, and we could still get some frost. And you don't want this sitting outside getting solid with frost, because it will break the bulbs, it will damage the bulbs. So you want to kind of give it a good water, and pop it in the garage protection, or if you had a greenhouse, put it in the greenhouse. So in the end, we decided to put it into a pot, into some bonsai soil. As some of you know, I do bonsai, and I've got 2 chances of just it's got a lovely base on it. So next job is the hydrangea. So obviously these are all the old heads from last year. I've waited until we've got a few buds. My friend Sarah, she bought us this last year for the first time she came to the house. So we're going to cut these back to these buds. We're not going to go too close to them because I want the buds, because they might be dieback basically. I'm going to cut that there. Cut that there. There's a nice little cluster of buds down there. And what I might also do with this is, I think I will put a bit of fleece over the top of it, because next week it's supposed to be a little bit frosty. So just to protect these buds from getting any frostbite, I'm going to, so you can see here I've got there's a single bud, and then there's 2 buds here. I'm going to go down to the 2 buds. Same there, there's 2 buds there, one at the back as well. And then again there's 2 buds just there, so we're going to cut there. So now you can see it's a lovely shape. I'm also going to top up some compost where I planted it last year, so the compost has gone down. So there's quite a lot of roots exposure, but that'll be a nice shape when that all comes out again.
I'm going to put some fleece over there and I'll bring you back. Okay, so as you can see, I've taken all the stones off of the top of there, just take off the old dead leaves. I've actually got the mixture that I've made from the leftover from the bulbs. I'm just going to top this up on top. Again, this will do it good to protect it in the frost the next couple of weeks. I meant to actually do this last year when I first potted it up, but you know, it's like you get on top of watering and stuff and didn't bother. So it's now on level. I'm not making it any higher than the actual original root ball because you don't want to root rot any of this woody stem part of the hydrangea. So I've literally just topped that up with some soil. I've then got some plastic bubble wrap. I couldn't find any fleece, but I'm gently just going to lay this over the top. And all this is going to do is just add a bit of insulation, just so that the frost doesn't affect those little buds. I'm trying to protect those buds using the pebbles that were on here before, just to literally lay on top. I'm not pushing it tight over the buds. I don't want them to grow and then get them squashed against the plastic. But I'll leave that now until the end of March, and then we shall see what's underneath when it's all started sprouting. While I was pottering, I wanted to just share with you the lovely sign of spring coming through. Some lovely daffodils, lovely sweet scented snowdrops. Also the hellebores are looking lovely too, popping through. And then we've got the lovely little snowdrops at the end of the garden. Okay, so we're into the garden centre and we bought ourselves some different sized pots to pop these into. I've got my houseplant compost. It's a Westland one. You can see that one there. It's got bits and bobs in there, different things to help them grow. So that's cool. So the first one we've got here, like I say, they're all philodendron or paphos. We're not massive into our houseplants, as in I don't know technical names of them, but we do love our houseplants. And these do need repotting. As you can see, there's lots of roots coming out the bottom. I don't know if you can see that or not, there against there. So this is the pot we're going to change it into. So at the moment it's in that little tiny pot. So we are going to pop it into one of these. As you can see, I had to get this pot here because it fits underneath the worktop or the top of the cupboard, but it's slightly wider, which is why I've gone for this one. As you can see, it's a bit wider than that one, and the pot this is currently in is very shallow. So if I put it into one of these plastic ones, it will take it right down to the bottom. I'll cut the rim off this one and it can still fit above the cupboard. So let's get it into the pot. So what I'm doing here, I'm just cutting off the rim of that pot. So that was it before and that's it afterwards, just taking that rim down. And hopefully that should fit perfectly, like it does, inside there. When you're using house plants, you're better off putting them in a separate pot rather than planting them straight in there. There is one that I planted straight into the pot, which I'll show you in a second. You're better off having it separately. One, so you can pull it out and look at the roots in the bottom, but also just so there's a little bit of a gap at the bottom. This one's only got a very small gap, but just so the water isn't sitting right in the bottom of all the roots. It just allows the water to get away from the roots, and so again the plant's not drowning. So let's get it into the pot. So this one here is one we have in our bedroom. Excuse the motorbike in the background. And this is probably one of our favourites. It's actually called lemon and lime, this variety. You do get these ones that drive around mad, don't you, around the States. Yeah, this is in our bedroom. It's beautiful. As you can see, it's been in this pot for 2 years. It's very in need of repotting. Very in need. As you can see there. We also have these little sticky things as well, just in case you get those little flies. These are great. There's only 2 flies on there, but sometimes houseplants attract those little flies. But we'll pop that back in there when we're finished. So this goes in this pot. As you can see, the pot itself is quite a bit bigger. So we're going to keep it in that hanging pot, but we're going to pop it into one of these ones. As you can see, quite a bit bigger. And that one fits perfectly inside there. The rim comes up a little bit, and I'll probably leave the rim. No, I won't. I'll take a little bit of the rim off that pot as well, just so you don't see it. So let's get that potted up, and then I'll show you when it's finished. Podley, come and show them. Come and show them what you were doing. Don't be shy. Come on then. This is Vinny, the funny boyfriend.
What are you doing, Thelma? Name that film.
Name that film in the comments. And there we go, so that's that potted into the new pot. I didn't cut the rim off it, because the way it hangs in the bedroom, you don't really see the top anyway. And the other thing, the good thing about Paphos or Philodendron are, they actually root up their stem. So here, there's a couple of little roots on there. So I've actually planted them about a couple of inches deeper than they were before, because they were really coming out of the soil. And they'll they'll take on new roots and anchor it down even more. So that's a really good job done. So I'm gonna, that really needed repotting that one actually. So I'm gonna, again, we'll soak that until the water's pouring through, let it drain, and then we'll put that back in the bedroom. But what is also great with these plants is you get babies off them. So off that plant there I just had, these are two that basically were kind of hanging out the sides almost. So I can repot them into, I'll pop them into this small white one that was in there before. And then we've got some more plants. And the other thing with this is it's a great plant to use. So basically, you can see here, down the stem, you've got these little nodules. So that's basically new roots. So you could chop that into sections and make that into more plants. But because this has got an instant attractive trail, I'm going to leave that on there. So let's get that potted up as well. So we've got another plant out of it. And there we go, another little plant. Fabulous. We all love a free plant. You do something to me that I can't explain. Hold me closer and I feel no pain. Beat of my heart, there was something going on. Tender love is blind. It requires a dedication. There we go, another one. Just gonna use a little water now. Just water them until they run right to the bottom. And that way you know then the water's gone right through. And the other thing that's good about watering them is it pulls the roots right down into the compost and makes them secure. And if a plant feels secure, then it will take root and it will grow. If it doesn't feel secure, it will constantly send out roots to make it secure, but not feeder roots. Wow, look at this one. Really root bound. All the roots coming out the bottom of the pot. Let's ditch that one and get this into a new pot. As you can see, they are very tough plants. I've actually taken off a lot of roots off the bottom. I've left enough on there so each strand has still got a decent amount of roots on there. But it regenerates the plant and reinvigorates the plant as well. I mean, you can almost even prepare a pair of scissors, as long as you leave a decent enough amount of roots on there, but just trim the ends off. And what it does is it also stimulates those end parts of the roots and encourages more growth. When you get the new compost, it sends out lots of little fine roots, and it's the fine roots that take up the water, take up the nutrients, and invigorate the plant to keep growing more. Bit of Dolly Parton in the background. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. Just tease that compost down in amongst all the roots. And rather than bunching them all in the middle, I've kind of spread them across the pot. That plant I can hear saying, oh my goodness, thank you so, so much. It's going to send those roots out, it's going to produce more leaves, and give it a couple of weeks, you'll see the new sprouts on it as well. It's very tangled up as well. But that is beautiful. And that's going to sit that in one of these. There's chains for these pots as well. And this actually sits in the spare bathroom on chains in the corner. I'll show you at the end the more in situ in each room. Now with this one here in the kitchen, I've just literally taken it out of the pot and I've split it all up into the different sections that I bought it. We've had this for about 2 years, this plant now. You can see all the roots on the other side. It's now separated it, trimmed the roots, and I'm now going to get it into a pot. Even the fish are getting more active with this warm weather happening. Another sign that spring is here and summer's on its way.